Hello and good morning. Welcome back to the Football Terrace. Thank you very much as ever for tuning in. Just a big favor before we go any further. Please subscribe to the channel. We're closing in 163,000 subscribers. That's growth of nearly 50,000 over the course of this summer, which is absolutely amazing. And thank you to each and every single one of you that has decided to join the Football Terrace community. And that's exactly what we are. We're a football community. And during the transfer window especially, we read the news, we dissect the news, we present the news to you and give you the opportunity to actually have a voice, be seen and be heard. Unlike the majority of other platforms and YouTube channels and TV shows and radios where you barely get a mention. You're not even the side dish. You're very much the background music into what's going on. You're very much front and center of the Football Terrace. So firstly, I want to say a big thank you to everybody that's helped us grow and push us forward over the last few months. It's so humbling to me that people want to join this community that we've been working hard on building. Morning to Sensational FC, one of our members. I'm very well, thank you. Tyrone, good morning to you as well, my friend. Billy T, good morning to my beautiful, wonderful members. We're here to talk a few transfer rumors this morning and talking Sarr to Man United, Ismaila Sarr to United, Alex Tellers to Manchester United, Declan Rice to Chelsea, reports of a bid being formulated and coming in very, very soon. Good morning, Pav. Hope you're well. Leonardo, good morning to you as well. Lincoln, my bro, hope you're well. Thank you all for your good morning messages. I want to start with the Sarr deal. I have to start with the Sarr deal because even my tweet this morning just triggered numbskulls. Legit numbskulls. Don't tempt fate, Cherry. Saying the deal's close. It's quoted. There's a question mark next to it. Man United is simply linked to Sarr as a ploy. Man United is simply linked to Sarr as a plot. It is a set-up story now so that when Liverpool sign him or any other club sign him, these same publications can print a story saying Man United rejected. Man United turned down. Man United lose out on another transfer target. Manchester United have made absolutely zero contact with Sarr, with Watford, his representatives, about trying to sign him as a replacement for Jadon Sancho. This has not happened. Categoric BS. It's BS. It's highly likely if he leaves Watford, it's going to be Liverpool that sign him as a backup there. And Liverpool fans are excited about that. But this is nothing but a ploy. The Sarr link is an absolute fabrication. It is BS. It's not fabrication would even be twisting a story. It isn't even a story. It is nothing other than complete and utter BS. And again, like I was saying yesterday, us football fans are not stupid. They treat us as stupid, or they try to treat us as stupid out there in the mainstream media. But we're not stupid. And we know the truth when it comes to this. It is not real. There's a comment here from Kevin, says, Terry, enough about United's transfers. I've lost hope. United fans are losing hope because people are not using communities like ours sensibly. And I mean that genuinely. They're not being used sensibly. You're believing everything that's put in the papers, and you're not listening to what fans say. You're not listening to what experts say as such. You see the link. And do you know how I know this? Because you do it with my platform. You read the headline and you leave a comment based on what the headline says. Half the time, you miss out quotation marks. You miss out the emojis, which give you an idea of what we think. You miss out question marks, etc. You then don't listen to what I say, what any of the callers have to say, the opinions that people have, and you walk away from the situation. And I would change a rule on YouTube if I run it, that you have to listen to at least 10 minutes of a piece of content before the system allows you to leave a comment, because that's what everyone does. They read a headline. They read a small element of an article. They read the title of a video, and they formulate an opinion from it, as opposed to actually engaging the brains that you were born with and assessing the situation. And the Sarr link is a fabrication beyond belief. So just understand that 110%. And yes, I know Sarr is a young baller. He's a talented lad. Would I like him at Man United? The answer is yes. He's better than a lot of players that we have in that position from a backup point of view. But is he actually linked to Man United? No. Is he going to come to Manchester United? No. Absolutely not. Not at all. Not at all. So when you're fatigued and tired with this situation, it's because you're not engaging your brain. You know, a comment here from Ahmed Super Chat. This is how I see it. More spews for more views. Listen, I love talking about this stuff, and I look at it differently. The transfer window has always been a topic of conversation for football fans since I was a boy. And that's what we give you here, a chance to come in and speak about it. But too many of you can't handle the banter when you get bantered by a rival. That's your weakness, not ours. Secondly, you don't do your own research. People sometimes say to me, they leave comments going, where's Terry made this up from? And literally the story I'm talking about is trending on social media. I think, where's your research? If you don't do your own research, you're done out here. Let's talk Alex Telles to Manchester United. Really interesting sort of trend last night. Pictures taken from Portuguese television, where they've got the Suarez deal up on the board, talking about his move to Juve. They've got the Gareth Bale move up on the board, talking about his move to Tottenham. But what they have there, you see it in the thumbnail in big. I mean, this screen looks about 20 foot high. Alex Telles to Manchester United. They've said 40 million euros. This is a deal that has a little bit more credibility to it. This is a deal that has been circulating now for a week or so. Agents supposedly in the UK as an example, blah, 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 blah. I want your opinions on this. We're going to open the Skype lines for you to call in. There's a comment here. There's an article here that says Alex Telles is close to a move to Man United, who are expected to make a formal bid in the coming days after pulling out of the Sergio Reguilon deal. Would Man United fans be happier with Alex Telles than they would have been with Sergio Reguilon? Ahmed here says, I mean the journalist linking United to Sarr. No, I hear that, bro. And I know you're not having a pop at us because you wouldn't be here making super chats on a channel that you disliked. I totally get that and understand that, bro. By the way, over 1,000 people tuning in. Let's push this video past 1,000 likes, please. So make sure we hit the like button right about now and support the Football Terrace community. Thank you. Would you prefer Alex Telles to Reguilon? That's the question I'm posing to you, my beautiful, wonderful, loyal viewers today. That's what I want to know. Would you accept it, take it? Is it an improvement? The one thing's for sure, from an attacking point of view, it is 110% an improvement. 110% improvement on what we already have. Like, from an attacking point of view, that is a cast iron fact. It's a non-debatable cast iron 110% fact. From an attacking point of view, it improves Manchester United enormously. Enormously. And as ever, I want your views and I want your opinions on these types of things here. Terry, it's so weird. I only like videos after you ask. Most people do. Most people do forget to hit the like button, if I'm being honest. Comment here says he's better than both. Telles all day. In fairness, there's a lot of United fans on here a week ago during these links saying that. Leonardo says, please let the Sami Khedira to United rumors not be true. Leonardo doesn't want Sami Khedira at Manchester United. Timothy Cho says, I mean, now that Reguilon isn't available, of course, Telles is now the better left back. Listen, I'll stand by what I said. I don't actually remember what I said a week ago, so I can't stand by what I said. I think I said I was happy, very happy with Sergio. I said I think I prefer Telles because they both improve us from an attacking point of view. So I'm not going to change my stance on that. Am I convinced we're going to land Alex Telles? No. I'm not. I want to get my hopes up. I want to get my hopes up. I want to think that it's true. I want to believe that it's going to happen. but I can't. I can't. Sorry, peeps, let's respond to a message. I can't allow my hopes to get up on it. I just can't do it. Comment here says, absolutely, Tellus is a cheaper and more proven option. Well, the TV are saying it's going to be 40 million euros, which would be more expensive, but he'd be our player permanently. Gareth here, a super chat, says, Tellus is more experienced, but Sergio Reguilon is younger. This is true. I don't think buying a player of Alex Telles's age, though, is a big problem for a team like Manchester United. I really don't, because I think there's an element of us needing a bit more experience. Plus, with that deal that Real Madrid wanted, what was going to happen is you're going to train up Sergio Reguilon to be at the age where he's about to like progress and move forward and become a star, and they're never going to take him back anyway. So it's a terrible, terrible deal. Remember, Skype lines are open. You can phone in to have your say. We do want to hear from you this morning in relation to that. Sorry. I got a message from someone this morning and I had no idea what they were talking about, and they just clarified. But we look at him statistically over the last 5 years, and it's important to look at it from this point of view. From an attacking angle, the geezer's just sublime. You know, nearly 2 assists chances created every single game, as an example. You know, 51 assists is absolutely phenomenal. Over 455 chances created in that time. Absolute phenomenal output. So when you look at him defensively, you know, defensive duels won 61%, aerial duels won 55%, loose balls won 45%, slide tackle success 43%, 4.62 interceptions per game. You know, only recoveries of the ball over 8 per game. Really talented lad. Barely, you know, only gets booked once in every 10 games, which is sensational in my opinion. We're joined by Shrey on the line now. Shrey, we know you're a Man United fan. Alex, tell us to Man United. Sarr to Man United. What you saying, bro?
Nonsense. I think I never believed in the Sarr one anyway. I think we were monitoring the Alex. What's his name? I'm forgetting his name. The left back, this left back situation.
Tell us.
I think he's a good left back, but I think it's a gap filler. I think after we missed out on Thiago, and you know, to be fair, Liverpool were favorites, but we still missed out. So after we missed out, I think we'll only try to get Sancho now, and I am not even sure that we're going to get him, but I think we're going to try to get him. And this left back situation, I think it's just a gap filler to keep our minds.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying there. I mean, there's a lot of people that don't think we're going to. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that don't think Man United are going to sign anybody else this window. Not a single signing additional is going to come in.
I don't think they can afford to do that. They know that. I don't think so.
No, and I understand that. Man like Mo's now with us. What do you make of the links this morning with Sarr and Tellus, Mo?
We ain't going to get nobody, man. We say more the excuses, man. Lies and lies and lies. I keep hearing all lies. You could tell a million lies. You ain't going to change the facts, all lies.
Who's lying?
All they do is lie.
Who's lying, though?
The Glazers and Woodward, the two dumb and dumbers, both of them.
But
they're lying. Nothing's gonna happen.
But what actual lies?
That we're not gonna get nobody. Look, we're not gonna. This is it. That's it. Just Van de Beek, and we're not even gonna get top.
No, I understand that. But what lies is Woodward and the Glazers told about what?
That they're gonna give Ollie full support. They gave lies. I've heard all lies. They said they're going to give him 3 players this summer. They've only bought 1. That's it. That's all lies.
Okay, so do you not think they've tried?
No, they don't care. They only cares about their money. I've told you this many times that we always have this conversation. They only care about their money. They don't give a toss about us. And that's that.
I hear you on that. I understand that. What's interesting, though, is the element of, you know, what people kind of buy into. So yesterday, I mean, this has gone like every time Fabrizio Romano says something, he's quoted. So when he says yesterday that he doesn't think Man United will bid for Sancho, if they do, then they get it. But he doesn't think they will. That's his opinion. It's printed everywhere. You know, every time nearly everything he says gets slapped all over the internet. But one thing he said yesterday is almost just melted away into the ether like the Thanos snap. It's gone. Nobody's focusing on it because I think that when you want to be negative about Man United, this comment from him doesn't feed your narrative, and not yours personally, it's just in general. And that's when he said that Man United made an inquiry about Thiago, found that Thiago had his heart set on Liverpool, and then Man United went and just got the Van der Beek deal done, and since then had no more contact. The problem we have is that Fabrizio may have only just found that out, by the way. He may have only just found that information out after the situation with Thiago ended. But you know how you think that the Van der Beek deal happened 2 weeks ago, right? Our inquiry for Thiago was nearly 3 weeks ago. So in that time, the media have told us on a number of occasions, even Christian Falk just a couple of days ago, that Bayern Munich expect a bid from Man United. That isn't the club Man United getting our hopes up. That's Fabrizio might not be telling the truth now, or the media were lying over that 3 week period. And that's where I think that's why we exist as a community. Like in every single Thiago video we did, we spoke about the story that was being published. But what did I say in every video? Highly likely to join Liverpool. I wouldn't get your hopes up. The only chance I felt like we had at any point is if Liverpool pulled out and he still wanted to leave Bayern Munich. But Liverpool weren't pulling out. And I think this is where fans have got to start engaging their brains a little bit more. Now, your point on we need to sign more players, I completely and utterly agree. The only caveat to that is if our number one targets are not doable in this month, I'd rather wait till January. But I'd rather wait till January or next summer to get them done in the same way we do with Bruno Fernandes, because Bruno Fernandes has been our best signing in terms of impact since Robin van Persie, which was, we're getting towards a decade ago that deal happened. So I'd rather follow that suit again. But
I do think we'll get Sancho, though, to be fair.
No. You know why we're not going to get Sancho? Because I think, I don't know, their board, or I don't know what the guy's called. He said if United don't sign him quick, if they're trying to do the deadline, they might not get a replacement, and they're not going to let Sancho leave. So it's now or never.
No, but to be fair, on the podcast, Fabrizio said that if Dortmund get the money, they'll let him go.
And that's the point. And
Shrey,
that's where you put on a great point. This is where Man United fans have got to be braver, stronger, and have thicker skin. When Fabrizio says he doesn't think the deal will happen, rivals slam it in your face. The next sentence is, if Man United bid the right money, it will happen. Your rivals ignore that sentence because it doesn't fit the narrative. And I think what happens, so much of the fatigue is people shoving the story in our face and act like, but only the elements that they want to hear, like this Alex Telles deal. Like, that's quiet this morning from rivals because it's all over Portuguese TV that it's happening. As an example, the Sarr deal was quiet until you say you might. But, do you get where I'm coming from? And as soon as you hear, it's not now going to happen. See, it weren't happening, mate. At the end of the day, you're always going to have this type of thing. Look at what Liverpool being called for like 8 weeks. Broke boys, broke club, this, that, the other. They pulled the deal off. Everyone goes quiet now. That's over. Yeah. They got the player. They paid the money. They did the deal and it's over. You just got to learn. Liverpool fans can teach Man United fans a lesson to toughen up a little bit. To sit there. I know that we have this kind of this notion that we need to sign loads of players every summer. And I wanted 3 players this summer, but I want the right players. I said it all along with the Thiago deal. If Thiago was only interested in coming to us, if we paid him huge money in comparison to what he was willing to be paid for at Liverpool, I didn't want him. If we inquire about a player like Reguilon, and he says, I want this clause because I want to be able to go back to Real Madrid in a couple of years, potentially, we are right to walk away from him. Now, who knows what other signings we've gone for have said, what their dedication to the club has been. We might have had 3 ideas in mind, got the opportunity to speak to the player, and Ollie's gone, he doesn't have the attitude that I want. Don't want him. We're going to have to now go back to square one and reassess and find somebody else. I want that as a longer-term plan than just buying a number and bringing a body in for the sake of it. The reason I say that is because I felt that was our approach from Moyes right through to Ollie, and that didn't work. In fact, that was one of the key catalysts to completely destroying our club. And on the we spend a lot of money before we qualify for the Champions League and not as much after, that mitigates one key piece of critical thought. The players we signed the summer before we qualify for the Champions League, why are we not expecting those players to move on to another level now? Like Spurs players have done over the years, like why the Liverpool players have done. Mane didn't have his first season at Liverpool and was very good and then go backwards. Mane has progressively got better for 2 or 3 years. Why are we not expecting as Man United fans for De Gea to improve because Henderson's there, or Henderson to come in and improve us? Why are we not expecting for Shaw still to improve? Why are we not expecting Maguire and AWB to have even better seasons? Why are we not expecting Bruno, Pogba, Van der Beek to have brilliant seasons? Why are we not expecting improvements from young Rashford and young Greenwood? We should be. And if we don't expect those people to improve, again, people talk about having high standards. Well, it isn't just about buying 3 or 4 players every summer. It's about the players you bought the year prior still improving and elevating your team further. And for me, I only want to sign the right players at the right times. We never know. We never know in the short term whether we're doing that or not. So what I'm going to do, because it hasn't served me well as a person, and it hasn't served my mental health well, to consistently throw my toys out the pram, almost act in a psychotic way on a daily basis about my football club, and throw my toys out my pram. Wait to see the bigger picture. Do I think the Glazers are taking money out the club? Would I prefer different owners? Absolutely. But have we invested just in transfer fees nearly £1 billion in 7 years? The answer is yes. So we're spending money, but we need to spend it wisely, because the biggest problem with spending that 800 million is how much of it was wasted. So if we know that the club's already been hemorrhaged money because of the owners, we should be demanding that Woodward and Co. are thrifty and frugal with the money so that we're not wasting more. That seems to me like a better pattern. That seems like a better pattern to me, Mo.
Yeah, but whose fault is that then?
What do you mean?
Can't keep blaming the manager.
Yeah, it's their fault. They want all the power, so they have not hired any football people. So it's their fault that the money has been wasted.
Mo, I'll blame managers and players for particular things, and you know that. However, you've been watching my show for years. Who was the only guy when everybody was saying Jose out that was talking about the Glazers and talking about the way the club's being run as the big problem? Who was being shot down by every Man United fan for being a Jose sympathizer? And by the way, I had loads of issues with Jose, but I said then.
No, but I did.
But you know I did, and I know you did, because you phoned the show. You phoned the show. But everyone knows I've been blaming the Glazers. I've been blaming the way the club has been run as the biggest problem since before anybody thought it was fashionable. And I'm going to do the same thing. You know, but we need to run. But what I will do when we start to behave better, I will praise that better behavior, because credit where credit is due. You know, the way we did the Van der Beek deal. You know, we shaved off.
But do you believe, Terry? Do you agree with me for once? Yeah, that every manager will fail under them. I'm gonna say every manager will fail under them. Jose failed under them. Van Gaal failed under them.
It's a cycle we're trapped in because of this.
Exactly.
Yeah, and maybe they will. So, what's the answer?
I don't know, man.
The answer, we
would have stopped winning titles back in 2003-4 if we didn't have a genius like Sir Alex.
I understand that, but the answer is, what's the answer? Stop supporting the club. I can't.
No.
I love my football club.
No, Terry, I'm not saying that. It's these clowns that keep going to matches and all, and they say, I'm going to do this. These are the knobheads that worry me, bro. These are the idiots that keep talking about Glazers out, but you're there feeding their pocket.
No, and I understand that, bro. And like I said before, I'm not at peace with the Glazers being here, but there isn't enough Man United fans who are willing to actually take action to help force them out. So because there isn't, I'm not wasting any energy on it, because it isn't going to happen. So my view is we've got a rough ride, but let's make it as comfortable as possible. How do we make it as comfortable as possible? One, by not overreacting every 5 minutes as fans. Secondly, allowing Ollie through his leadership to get us into a position where we're running things better, because at least then we can get the best tune possible out of what we're left with. And I think that's the issue, is that we're poor owners and then we were being run poorly. I think we're being run better by the board now. Decision making, the types of players. Look at the one thing that, again, everyone's ignoring. First summer ever since Fergie retired where we're not linked with loads of players leaving. There being arguments in the background, manager spats, problems here, problems there. It's calm and collected because nothing's coming out anymore. Even if there is arguments, it's all that the way we're being run is better. And for me, by the way, you don't need to spend big money to become champions, because, by the way, Liverpool spent money. Right, they've spent £400 to £500 million on players, right, and they've become European champions and they have become Premier League champions. We have spent in the last 7 years nearly double that, and we're nowhere near it. If we would have spent that money on the right players who truly wanted to be here, we wouldn't have damaged our wage structures in the way that we did, and we actually had a plan of action with a style of play. We could have won league titles in that time, even with the Glazers here. Do I want them gone? Absolutely. but you can win titles without spending at City's level and without spending at Barcelona's level and without spending at Paris Saint-Germain's level. And by the way, we do still spend big. But the thing is, we need to have better expectations of ourselves as fans and realize that it isn't about signing 3 or 4 players every single summer. And if you can't sign the players you want, we're going to have to wait. But boys, I appreciate you guys coming on, having your say. Really respect your opinions. Next up, we've got Nabil Akbar. Nabil Akbar, welcome back to the Football Terrace. What do you want to say, mate? Oh, hang on. Didn't answer that one properly. I'm not sure where Nabil went. Welcome to the Football Terrace. What do you want to say?
Hey, what's up? How are you doing?
I'm good. What do you want to say, my friend?
I just wanted to speak about the Alex Telles situation.
Go for it, bro.
What is exactly your feeling about it? Like, how do you think this is going to pan out?
I think that there's about a 10% chance we buy a left back.
Because I only feel that this is happening like all the other situations where United's name is just being thrown into it by the agents.
Potentially, it's potentially true. I mean, there's a tweet I was just reading then as you called that says that. So let me go and find it. It's just been put out, and it could be very, very true. So it says here that Man United are growing increasingly frustrated at the social media frenzy around their transfer activity and believe it is creating a cloud of negativity ahead of the start of the new Premier League season. Now, that is what Man United have briefed, in an interview into the media, and I think that it's for me, fans are part of that. Yesterday, it's been announced this morning, 6 minutes ago, that Bruno Fernandes is the player of the last year. Read the comments. Yeah. You start reading the comments, right? And it's there's just the toxicity in the comments, the abuse towards the club in the comments is abhorrent. And that's nothing to do with that. And that's nothing to do with that. And there is absolute. And by the way, I don't care how bad the Glazers are as owners. There is no need. Human beings, grown men, grown women, are completely and utterly 100% responsible for their own attitude and behavior. And there is absolutely no room for that. They're making it harder for Ollie and the boys to go out there and be successful. And like I've said, these toxic Man United fans who are always throwing their toys out the pram at every stage, who are never defensive of their football club, don't love their football club. You can't love something and never defend it, right? You may have this element where
that's true.
I don't defend the Glazers and their ownership, but I'll see elements of what we do and go, that was good. Oh, that was good here. I'm going to defend Ollie on that one. I think Ollie's right there. That's because I love my football club. If you're always negative about your club and you never defend it in any capacity, you don't love them. If you don't love them, you're not a true supporter.
And the thing is, like, I can support the club on this one thing, which was the Thiago situation. We knew that he was going to Liverpool. It's exactly what happened with Sanchez. If we threw more money at him, he would have definitely been with us. But we didn't want to do that.
Absolutely. I agree.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like a cycle which keeps going on. Like, we had the big names and we had the big managers coming in, and so they had their influence also. Now we have someone like Ollie who's trying to bring in a new culture into United. He's trying to get in the new young guys to come in. That's why I don't feel like he would go for Telles, and I only feel that the agents are actually throwing United's name in just to get some deal done for him.
Yeah, and I understand that. And I understand it massively. Like, as I say, you look at the Sarr situation this morning. We're linked with Sarr purely to maybe speed Liverpool up, but primarily for the media to be able to write stories and say United rejected. That's what it comes down to.
It's the same thing that's going all over again, because every time when you see on social media, we always see that Regulon rejected United. It was not the case. We didn't want a buyback clause. We're not such a small club that we would accept a player with a buyback clause.
But but what perpetuates these stories is that Man United fans, too many thousands of them, hundreds of thousands of them, maybe millions of them, are not real fans. They started supporting Man United when we were in our peak, when we were winning Premier League, winning Champions Leagues, when we were one of, if not the best team in the land, and it was all about glory for them. These people are the epitome of glory hunters. Now the glory's gone, they're unhappy. Now I'm unhappy with where we are as a football club, but I still love my football club. I don't like the Glazers.
Exactly.
I don't like the Glazers as owners. I don't like the debt structuring. I don't like how much money they take out of the football club. But am I happy with what Ollie has been creating and building? Yes. Am I happy with how we're now doing transfer business? Yes. Was I happy with the Glazers and the owners during the pandemic with how they handled that? Absolutely. That's because I love my football club and I recognize the good bits and I recognize the bad bits. If you're someone that only sees the bad bits and you've got no room for balance, even when you see your club being lied about on social media, you don't defend them. You are not a Manchester United supporter, a fan. You are nothing but a charlatan. You are nothing but a glory hunter because you have no actual care for the football club. You are happy for them to be dragged through the mud, dragged through the coals, made to walk over broken glass, even when it's a lie. You will side with a lying journalist who is creating hate towards your football club. That in itself, you just doing that, you letting the wolves in the door like that is proof, in my opinion, that you don't love the club. And if you don't love the club, you cannot support the club. And as I say, you don't have to defend everything the club does. That isn't what I've said once. It's when you never defend on any level anything about the football club. That makes you not a fan. Super chat here. Thank you very much for your call, bro. Super chat here from Mohammed, who says, what does he say here? He says, hi, why are we still believing United are going to sign anybody? Let's brace ourselves for another disappointing season. Come on, bro. Starts tomorrow. Man up a bit here. Man up a little bit here. Kieran is on the show with us now. Kieran, welcome back to the Football Terrace. What are you saying, Kieran?
Hey. The first time I've called the show. Basically, I'm a Man United fan. And I just wanted to speak basically on like my positive views of the season.
Go for it, bro. Go for it.
Coming up. When you think about last season, yeah, Pogba was injured for like most of it. We had Rashford and Martial injured for like parts of the first half of the season, and then when we signed Bruno Fernandes, we started getting points on the board. We had like like a more creative midfield, and then Martial started scoring goals. I just think there was a long part of the season, yeah, like where we can split like the first half of the season and the second half of the season into two. When we played with Mata, Lingard, and who was it? Mata, Lingard, Rashford in the first half of the season, yeah, and then we weren't generating much points. Second half of the season, we had our full strength team. We were just blitzing the league, yeah, and I just think I'm positive ahead of the season because now we have our full strength squad. Yeah, Pogba's fit, obviously with the coronavirus thing, but Bruno's there. Now we've got cover for Bruno. I just feel like our team's going to generate more points than like last year when we had Mata, Lingard, and all these other players.
Mate, I totally get where you're coming from, and I agree. I was thinking last night, I was sitting there and I was thinking about Dan James as an example. I think Dan James is going to have a better season than he had last year. Greenwood's going to have a better season than last year. Rashford is going to have it. Martial will have it. Of course, injury pending. Martial will have it. Bruno here for the whole campaign. Pogba hopefully fit for the majority. Van der Beek coming in. That's better. There's still an outside chance we sign another player, maybe even two this window. There's still sort of like 17 days left to get that done. We've got other youngsters coming through. Everyone was crying at the end of last season. Oh, why is Mendy's like a superstar in the future? Why is he not in the first team? He gets promoted to the first team, and on social media, we're just going, oh, that's not, you're going to try and spin it as a new signing. That's a disgrace. You say, man, we're asking for him to be bled in. Now, under Jose, we're moaning that academy players are not getting a chance. Under Ollie, we're not signing enough players, and we're giving too many academy players a chance. These people are consistently negative. If we sign Sancho, they'll still moan. If we sign Telles, they'll still moan. Whatever we do, they will moan. They are never positive about anything. Even Bruno coming in and killing it. These same fans moaned. They were sort of like, well, they started creating this trying to create this civil war between Bruno and Pogba. Everything that happens at the club, they will twist into a negative. Absolutely will. Pav's now joined us on the line. Pav, what do you want to say, bro?
You right, yeah? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, bro.
All right. So obviously, I've been listening, and I've seen like the links to Telles this morning. I knew that was going to happen straight after the Regulion deal went obviously to Tottenham, and obviously, I want to go in a bit on the fans. So when the transfer window opened, right, we all knew that obviously it was going to be Sancho pretty much every day of the week. Links to him, just like obviously that. But there was no expectation of a left back coming in, right? And suddenly we get linked to Regulion after the Europa League. And now why was there a sudden expectation that we need a left back right now when we were never linked to one? No one talked about having a left back or bringing one in this season. We were talking about obviously Sancho, perhaps a centre back, because we know there's obviously problems with Lindelof and Maguire both playing, and perhaps a CDM. And so I don't understand where this sudden expectation has come from that we desperately need a left back right now. And we literally have a lot of our fans throwing their toys out of their pram because Regulion went to Tottenham. Like, I don't get it. Where did this expectation come from that we needed a left back straight away, or we were going to get one? That would have been on the bottom of our list of what we really needed this season anyway.
Mate, and this is the thing, right? I mean, some people wanted a left back the whole time because they don't like Luke Shaw, but everything that they're after stems from their kind of hatred and annoyance at the football club as a general rule. Do you get where I'm coming from? Like they don't really love Man United. They don't. And do I want more players? Do I want us to do better in the transfer market? Absolutely. But then there's this element of you then get behind your team and you support your team. And what they live behind, they go, I just have higher standards than you. My standards are so high that I'm not going to be happy until we achieve them. And it's a case of, but that means you're not going to be happy on the road to that success, because nobody goes from 0 to 100 with the snap of the fingers. It takes time to develop and get yourself, to the standard you're talking about. And it's like they never set what their standards look like. What does it mean? Does that mean winning a league every year? Does that mean, tell us what you actually mean? Do you get where I'm coming from? It means it gives them it gives them the ability to be negative all the time, because there's an industry in it now, or there's attention to be gained from it. It's an illness with some of these people, or they just don't really love the club. You can't love a club and be negative about every single element of that same club every single day. I think that's a nonsense.
Exactly. You just got to look for some positives in the team, like what I was trying to do. And I just think with Chelsea signing like loads of players this year, Man United fans are like straight away like, oh no, Chelsea got a better team than us. And I'm thinking like, well, they didn't have a better starting 11 than us last year. They had like maybe more like squad depth or whatever. But our team's like together now. I'd take Bruno over Havertz any day. I'd take Martial over Pulisic. I'd take Rashford over Werner. Whether I'm right or wrong in that, I still think, Man United have a team to go and challenge this year. And I don't know. And like with some of our signings going to Tottenham, again, players that, Man United, with Bale, yeah, people didn't want him at Man United. Yeah, and then now we're gonna sit there crying about how he's gone to Tottenham. It's just confusing. Everyone's just
negative. Just fans act like spoiled kids. I guarantee you, these are the same people probably like when they were younger. If they didn't get something from the supermarket when they went in there with their parents, they would like hit and kick them. Our fan base are full of.
It's true. These people, these fans, these people, they feel like the club is beholden to them. I need you to do what I want. And this is how football fans have become. It's never been like that. Like I get everyone's got an expectation and they want us to get there. But you speak to people and it's like Aaron's a great example on the show. Aaron's worried that we're not going to have the ability to compete in the Champions League this year without signing additional players. And I understand where he's coming from. But my view is a bit like, well, we know how good City are, and we slapped them 3 times last season, 3 or 4 times last season. We beat Chelsea quite a few times last season. We've got a good record in the Premier League against top 6. You know, look at the way we played against Sevilla in the Europa League. Like if Martial and Rashford had finished their chances on that day, we'd have battered them as an example. Now we've added Van der Beek. I do think we need one more in Sancho, but like I've said, I expect the whole team to be better. As an example, I genuinely expect the whole team to be better as an example. Equally, I remember how badly Liverpool slapped up Bayern Munich in the 2018-19 season, like obliterated them. A year later, that same team was the best in Europe. Like these things, that's why I'm trying to stay relaxed, because I'm not saying we're going to be the best team in Europe this forthcoming season. I still think, like you've said, I think naturally we're going to be better this season than we were last year, even with one or two signings coming in, because there's this the group has had another year together. And that, again, is something that we just haven't done regularly since Fergie's retired. One, got into a season with an uneventful summer where there hasn't been turbulence and fallouts and turmoil and fighting and manager fallings out. It's true.
A positive start to a season where there hasn't been any, like obviously last year you had the whole Pogba thing, the years before it's or a manager being sacked or something like that. Every year there's obviously some sort of negativity start to the season, but like I don't obviously see that coming to an end. It'll be the same next year. There'll be some sort of something happening next year. It's just like obviously the fans, they're reactionary. They like react angrily straight away. They don't think. They just have to. They have to tweet or whatever straight away. A load of nonsense. They don't like listen or take the time to take in.
But that's the point. But that's the point I'm making. So we go for a summer where there's been no turbulence, no turmoil, no problems, no infighting, no manager spats, no issues. It's another year with the same manager where things are harmonious. How often has that happened? Didn't happen. Like you think about the first the end of LVG's first season. That whole summer was was dictated by the issues with Angel Di Maria, as an example. You had all that problems going on there. Players not happy. Players, segregated from coaches. All these issues. Following summer, by then he was gone. Jose come in. Nice clean summer. Got the team in. But we didn't have a great. We did win a Europa League and a League Cup. That summer though, there was already problems. Fans complaining about the football, spats with the fact that Anthony Martial wasn't being treated correctly. You started hearing the early embers of Pogba and Jose having their issues. But we had a fairly clean summer, came second in the league, but by halfway through that season, it started to fall apart. That whole next summer was that toxic summer. Jose then goes on to be sacked. We bring in Oli, nice little start. The whole of last summer was a madness because Pogba was looking to leave. All the interviews he gave, there were spats between Martial and the manager, Matic and the manager falling out, ages to get our signings. There was like turmoil. It took us until January to click. We clicked, finished the season on the high, the squad in a good mood. It's literally the first summer we've had where there's been no problems, no nothing. If you're an actual Manchester United fan, if you're an actual Man United fan who loves the club, you would recognize that and see it as a positive and be like, you know what, I want to add more bodies. But I think we're going to go into this season with such a good togetherness as a team that will see us improve. But instead, you ignore any ounce of positivity because you're a spoiled little child who hasn't got what he wants, as you say, at the supermarket. So you're standing in the corner, stamping your feet and pissing your pants out of anger. And it's just disgraceful.
Yeah, it's like everybody just wants what they want to happen. That everyone thinks whatever you're thinking, that's what should happen. But it doesn't work like that. The club, obviously, I think it was yesterday that I read a couple of reports that the club said they're not going to bend over for the fans because they want this, they want that. They're obviously going to do what they think's best. And then everyone, obviously, you got people just throwing their toys at their prams because they're not getting what they want. It doesn't work like that. You know what I mean?
I used to be really upset, when I was younger, and Man United were linked to Wesley Sneijder all the time. And I used to play with him in my football game and think, it'd be so good if we had Wesley Sneijder in our team, And I used to think he'd fix our midfield so much because I had my views of our midfield around 2011, whatever it was. And next season we go and win the league, and I think, oh, we didn't really need him, you know. And I just think like, you know, like this year going to into the season, I just think like people just be happy if we signed anyone at this point, and it's just like, why would you be happy if we sign like another Darmian?
And you make a great point. They'd be happy if we just signed anyone, and that is what we did for years, and it didn't work. And this is why I know these people. And a comment from Paul here says like, it's a terrible opinion, Terry. Well, phone the show and debunk it. I know you can't. You're just talking trash. The same fans that were angry with how we were running the club between Fergie and now are the same fans moaning that we're not acting like that anymore. Because what they enjoyed about those transfer windows is that we spent loads of money. And that it was like, oh, 4 or 5 signings, big names. It was like they got to show off. They got their. It didn't matter. It didn't matter to them that in the end, those players turned out to be trash. That didn't matter. That was inconsequential to them. It was, I got to show off in that time. It's not, there's no substance to it. These people just want to be able to say, oh, we got this, we got that. They're not real Man United fans. And I know people say, Terry, how dare you say what a real Man United fan is? Bro, if they're allowed an opinion, I'm allowed an opinion. You know, if you can challenge me on anything I say, I'm challenging them on things they do. And for me, you cannot be negative about 95% of the things that your club does. Well, let me phrase that. You can't be negative about everything your club does and still be a supporter. So if you're a Man United fan and you defend the club on some things, you're positive about some things, I'm not talking about you. So I literally had someone message me going, Terry, but I only moan about these 3 things. What does that mean I'm a fake fan? I'm like, brother, do you understand the concept of the word never? Never defend. And then he's like, well, and he actually said to me, what do you mean? I said, never defend. I tweeted the guy 4 times. And I'm like, do you understand what I mean by never offend? And he was sort of like, right, he didn't get me. I'm like, I mean, if you defend the club at some points, you're not even involved in this conversation. So like, relax your brain, innit? But that's the thing with people. It's the narcissism comes through. But there we go. Boys, I appreciate you both coming on, being positive today. I'll chat to you, man, soon. Thank you very, very much. Everyone who's tuned into the channel, thank you this morning. Do me a big favor and hit that like button, hit the share button as well. And we'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye-bye.